Are we ready? Okay, so hello and back to welcome back to Femi Files. My name is Femi, and if you are listening for the first time, or if you're a returning listener, or if you happen to find this wherever you find it, welcome. So, as you can see, obviously, I'm using my phone as a microphone for this particular episode and possibly future episodes to come, because first of all, I don't know, I've been thinking of what to do, thinking of ways to better the podcast, been thinking of generally everything actually. Speaking of thinking of things, yeah. Today, I actually wrote a test in school, and this test was like announced last week. And last week, we had our school's convocation ceremony thing, where we didn't have any classes, obviously, because they're having convocation. So, this test, mind you, before I go on, we've only had 2 classes so far, and in those 2 classes, they are like this man barely taught us anything. Like, to my own understanding, he barely taught us what to do. Like, he was just reading his notes for us to like listen to, and then I'm not going to lie, I slept off in this man's class like more than once. The first time I was struggling with sleep, second time I actively slept off. Yeah. So, anyways, today was his test. Today was his test, and um, yeah, and I was revising. I was having a quick revision session with a bunch of my friends. So he came like midway into his like class time, and when he was there, he called out the last attendance, and obviously I was there because I don't miss my classes. What do you take me for? I don't miss my classes. And then when we stood up for the attendance, we were barely 22 or so. And then he started talking. He was like, "Those of you that are sitting down, can you just see yourself? Blah blah blah, da 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 da. Like, why aren't we serious? Those kind of things. What do we expect? Like, what do they expect themselves to write in the test that he's going to give?" But eventually, I thought he was not going to give the test any longer. But to my surprise, we wrote the test. And then the questions he gave like 3 questions, I think. The first one was about we should define the process of malting. If you're if you are studying food science, you know what I'm talking about. Like, malting is in like beer production. And so the first question was like to define malting and explain the processes in malting. The second one was to um, draw the flowchart of beer production, and the third one was the importance of hops in beer production. And those were the things I actively was present for in school. Sorry for the noise, my neighbors are around, and I really have to record this episode. So, as I was saying, those are the things I had to actively. Those are the last things I actually read before he came to the class. So everything was very fresh in my mind. Everything was so fresh in my mind. So I just got down to writing. The ones I partially forgot, I tried my best to ask around. Not saying that's not, but I tried my best to ask around and all that, and I was able to. Yeah, I was able to write. Obviously, because why not? Then after the whole test, Okay, yeah, after the whole test, I got back home and rain beat me. On my way back home, I think my glasses even flew from my face, or they slid down from my face, and I was on this bike. So it was very like I was so scared because it's barely a year I've used, barely. I'm cutting this part out. It's barely a year that I've used the glasses, and at that point, I was like, "What's going to happen? Am I going to die? Am I going to fall from this bike?" Because it was I, the rider, and my friend, that's also my neighbor and also my classmates. So at that point, I was like, "What's really going to happen?" Yeah, but we stopped eventually because I think everybody was the same. Everybody had the same thoughts running through their heads and all that. So, what was the point of my story? I don't know if you got the point of my story or if you understand the point of my story. But today, we're going to talk about success. Yeah, success, success, success. And and I don't know how I actually don't know how to define success, or I don't know how to define success, but in my lay understanding, success is winning. Do you get? Do you feel me? It's winning at whatever you decide to do. Yeah. And according to Google, Gemini actually, like success is a multi-faced concept with no single definition. It's a personal journey unique to every individual. Some common elements of success include achieving goals, personal growth, positive impact, happiness and fulfillment, and then balance. Um, yeah, so recently or lately, I think this whole I don't know how to put it, but there's this particular niche of videos I've been hearing around or like on people's phones and everything about making money. Like they're like, make money now, spend your money. No, like make money, invest, make money, like basically money centered. And that was the person's those were the those were like the aims of it. Like success is primarily having money, power and fame. And in my own little understanding, I feel like I don't know if I'm wrong, but I just feel like basing your success, basing your success off basing your success on the money, fame, power, and property you have very is a very understanding of flawed understanding of success. Very flawed understanding of success. And if we continue to like publish, if we continue to normalize this understanding, people will eventually suffer from it, in the sense that they will have this feeling of inadequacy. They will be depressed constantly because I'm not successful if I don't make a 1 million naira this month, or I'm not successful if I don't get 5,000, 15,000 subscribers or 15,000 followers on Instagram this year, or if I don't get a brand deal, that kind of thing, or if I don't have, like, if somebody with, let's say, academically now, somebody with a 2.1 GPA, and it's like, if I don't have a first class by the end of this semester, basically basically speaking, that is not even possible, because you can't just jump from your 2.1 to 4.5 this semester, like in a semester. Can you, let's do the math. 2.1. Let's say you have all your A's, that is 5.0. That is 7.1 divided by 2. That is 3.6. No, 55. 3.55. That is just still in your second class upper. So, and God forbid now you don't have the 5.0 GPA, you have like a 4.45 or 4.75. You're not going to be in your 5 points. You're not going to be in your first class because you're not just there. And eventually it brings this unhappiness. Basically, you're not going to be happy because when you set outrageous goals for yourself and you don't meet them, you're not going to it's not going to be it's not a good result, it's not a good outcome kind of thing, you know. So we should refrain. My own my take on this is that everybody should refrain from basing success from materialistic outcomes. That's smart, David. That's so smart. You should cease from basing your success on materialistic outcomes because eventually, I don't know, materialistic things only last for a while. Don't get me wrong, money is good. Power is also good, fame is good, and all the rest. But eventually, I don't know, is it just enough to be rich and have being rich and famous is not going to be enough for your to cover up your bad character or your lack of influence, like your lack of personal influence and personal what do you call that thing? If you don't grow as a person, the money and all that is not just going to sit right. Feel me? Do you feel me? I think you should feel me because I feel like I'm saying something that makes sense. So now, this is a message for those feeling unsuccessful, like me. I feel like this year I've not really achieved anything. I feel like I've wasted a whole 2024. But I think we still have 2 months, so no, we still have like 2 months, so I should not feel this way because there's still time. There's still time to do some things that I want to do. Yeah, yeah. It's okay to feel unsuccessful sometimes. Everyone experiences moments of doubts and frustration. Success is a journey and not the destination. Because, guy, once you finally reach the end of that thing, you're just going to be like, I'm done. What next now? What am I going to do? Just like how I was trying to save up for something and I eventually saved up for that thing. And when I bought it, I was like, so what am I doing now? I just used that and eventually spoke, but that's not the point of my comparison. Just saying that life is a journey too. Like just enjoy the ride and forget about the destination. Obviously you have to get to the destination because what are you doing? How will you be on the road forever? But if you don't find these little pockets of happiness in your journey to what you're aiming for, how are you going to enjoy anything? Femi on some things, you know? So there are a few things to keep in mind when you're feeling like you're not successful enough or unsuccessful. Firstly is that you should change your perspective. Change your perspective because if you constantly feel like if you just change your mind that you're not successful or that and have a winning attitude and have a like I can do it personality, I can do it mentality, your approach to things will change, your approach to things will get better. And secondly, the second point is going to lead into it. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. I recently heard this quote or something, or proverb or saying from this podcast, Soju with Sarah. For people that know me, People that know me personally and have my number have been posting it. I think even on my IG too. So she said that failure is the mother of success. What does that mean? Without failure, there is no success. Basically, like you never know the joy of, never really get the full understanding of winning without having one or two losses here and there, here or there, here and there, and everywhere. So, I I am not a stranger to failure. I failed multiple times. Like recently, I wanted to do a greenhouse, a makeshift greenhouse at home, and I was growing beans and everything. So I wanted to try speeding up the growth of the beans. I took them outside, and the sun was like really hot. And by the time I came out and everything, it was beginning to smell cooked. The beans was beginning to smell cooked, and and um and yeah, I felt really bad. I felt really sad about it. Also happened. I'm just going to give you plant reference, like plant stories. I also had this spider plant. I had this spider plant and it died. It wasn't really my fault. You think about it. In grand scheme of everything, it wasn't my fault. But it happened, and that's just what's up. Oh my god, my head is aching me. I want to stop doing this video, but I don't think I can. I have to go through to the end. So the third um hmm? Oh yeah, the third point is celebrate small wins. Small wins like completing your notes, small wins like recording a podcast, like successfully recording this podcast, because I've been procrastinating, I've been feeling so down. Anytime I want to like pick up my phone and record, I've been like, what's the point? What is even the use? Does anybody really listen to this thing? The thing is that it's a gradual process. So it's step by step. Once you do one thing, you do the next thing, and do the next thing, and do the next thing. So once you find joy, once you find your little happiness in the little things that you're doing, like recording, painting, writing your music, writing your notes, writing your stories, writing a line of code a day, all that, and you like give yourself a little thumbs up, you eventually be motivated enough to finish, to go through, to see through to the end of what you were, of the grand assignment you're trying to complete. Yeah. And now the last point is practice gratitude. Like focus on what you have, not what you lack. Gratitude can shift your mindset and boost your overall well-being. So there's this thing I recently started doing and I stopped, but I need to continue. It was like a gratitude notebook. Three things from I write three things I'm grateful for each day. I got that from this YouTube channel. Um oh, Temi's journal. Yes, Temi's journal. And he was like, in his journal, his actual journal, he has a segment for gratitude where he writes down three things that he's grateful for. And I tried to do it too, but I don't know, it was too tasking for me, because that time I was at home, and when you're at home, when you're like in your family house, you don't really have time for yourself. You don't have time for yourself. And I'm saying the right thing, yeah. So maybe if you don't do it daily, just maybe whenever you think of something, have like a segment on your book or something, a book or a note, or like a note on your notes app, and just write whatever you're grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for air, obviously. I'm grateful for the fact that I wrote my test today on unproblematically. Like, there was no issues, there was not no obstructions. I'm grateful for my podcast. I'm grateful for my friends, those kind of things. I'm grateful for the grace of God. Yeah, the grace of God. Hallelujah. My voice is, I'm losing my voice small, small. God. So, yes, those are the 4 points to keep in mind, 4 things to keep in mind. And now, for the next 4 things to do, firstly, you set realistic goals. Like I earlier said in the episode or on the episode, during this time, oh, sorry, what? Cutting aside out. So, the next thing to do is the next thing to do is to set realistic goals. Okay, sorry. Shit. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. The next thing to do is to set the next things you're supposed to do after keeping those things in mind is to take actions, the things that you're actively meant to do. And the first thing you're supposed to do is to set realistic goals. What do I mean by set realistic goals? When you have a total goal you want to achieve, let's say have an orchard, a plantation. So what is the first thing you're supposed to do? The first thing you're supposed to do is you're going to break down your one particular goal into mini goals, because you can't do everything at the same time, right? You crash in the process. So you have to set mini goals and set those mini goals, now break them into steps that you follow through. Feel me? Like the way I'm going to use, okay, yes, my example for this is Duolingo. In learning I'm taking Spanish classes, and in taking those classes they divided the classes into, I think, 8 segments, 8 units, or 8 sections, I don't know, but 8 something, and then they have their um broken down lessons and broken down places. So now currently my lesson that I am on is focusing on the use of a star and se. That is like the two R's, and one of the R's is for one of the R's is for using it, like you use it when you are describing something that is, like, will I say permanent, something that is like innate in you, like I am a boy. You're going to say yo soy niño. Well, sorry, yo soy un niño, that kind of thing. And if then the second one is for describing things that are not so, that are fluid, like saying I am tired. Yeah, estoy preocupado, that kind of thing. So as I was saying, back to what I was saying, you have to set realistic goals for yourself, goals that you know you can complete, goals that you are capable of doing. You have to arrange things according to your mental or physical capacity, physical strength as a person. Secondly, you have to create a routine. Creating routines like creating routines help you stay on track and help you stay focused. Focused. Just like just as I'm still a student, I have a routine. My class schedules and the time I use to make dinner, all those kind of things. I actually have a routine, but sometimes things just shake everything up, sadly. Like from 8 a.m., or rather from 7 a.m. to, let's say, bad as a bad 5 p.m. is school time. But sometimes I close early, like before 11 or before 12 or before 2 o'clock. But that time is strictly for school. I use it to write my notes, do all those things, blah 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 blah. But People that are out of schools, people that have jobs maybe, or people that are freelancers, or I don't know, people that don't really have anything going on for themselves, lack that routine, and in that process they become, will I say, unproductive, in the sense that they don't really have that restriction, confine that restriction of how to manage their time. Basically, my own opinion, my own point of view is that routines are um making a routine, yes, is a good way of managing your time. That's what I've been trying to say. Making a routine is a good way of managing your time, because think about it, just think about it. Makes all the sense you can, makes all the sense you can put together. Without a routine, you're just going to rely on your head. And me personally, I've been forgetting things like really fast these days. Like I was supposed to make popcorn for this guy, but he didn't send money, so that one too is on his end. But I was supposed to make popcorn for this guy, and I forgot to do it. And I went to school, and I was scrolling through my messages, and I saw his message. And I was like, damn, that's so bad. And I lost money, but it's all good. Happened for a reason, probably. So when you schedule yourself, when you have a routine, you're going to be um constantly reminded of the things that you're supposed to do. Yeah. Now the third one is seek support. Talk to your friends, talk to family, or talk to your friends, your family about your feelings. I would have said talk to a therapist, but I don't think we have lots of therapists here in Nigeria. Maybe we do. I don't know, don't get me wrong. But I don't think they are going to be so affordable, because therapy is not so common. It's not as accepted. It's not accepted as it is outside the country. I feel like if I was a therapist, if I was an actual therapist, I would go out of business because of the place I'm in, first of all. Second of all, the people that are in the country. Because where I am is not really a that is a different discussion, but it's not just the place that the therapist will thrive. So seek support. If you're if you talk to a close friend or something, or somebody that will not discredit your goals, I think you're just going to someone that will not discredit your goals, someone that won't discredit your goals, or like write your goals off, and maybe even help you to achieve those goals. I think you're just going to be fine in those kind of things. And I think, okay, also for accountability, that kind of thing, I think it also goes hand in hand with the making of the routine thing. Yeah, good. The fourth one is to take care of yourself. Prioritize mental health. Prioritize your mental health. Prioritize your physical health, like your health. Because if you're not optimally optimal in your health, you're not going to be as productive as you ought to be, or how you want to be. Like me right now, I don't feel my best self, but I'm still here nonetheless, because I I genuinely want to record this podcast episode thing. Because if I don't record it, who will? Who will? Yeah, yeah. So, 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 we have come to the end of the episode. I just, I actually have a YouTube channel. Like, but going off the topic now, I have a YouTube channel, and I have been thinking of what to use it for. And probably I'm just going to test it out with this video. So if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, subscribe please and like the video please. And please, yeah, and also if you stay to the end of this episode, I would like to give you a thumbs up because you're the real hero, not me. Why is my thumb looking weird? Okay, let's give you a thumbs up because you're the real hero and not me. And also, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment and also a rating and leave a review. Sorry. Yes. Thank you very much. Bye. Oh shit! I just remembered that this is recording.